So if you get nothing else out of what I'm going to talk about today, it's your perception of failure, I think, dictates a massive amount of your ability to be successful. Look, how many of us grew up in a household that being or failing was acceptable, right? I got 3 brothers. I used to come into my bedroom after I get the hell beat out of me sometimes from them, and I'm sure that doesn't necessarily shock anybody, but there would be an L made out of socks on my bed. I'd walk in, my father, they were doing this. Who was in the kitchen? Lose, wee, wee, right? Son, what? Go give it a shot. Go make me proud. Go fail. How many of us are teaching our kids failure's a good thing? How many of us are teaching our kids the only way to learn is by screwing it up? That's how you learn. That's called lessons. If you're afraid to fail because you think failure means you're a loser is you're useless inside. If that's how you feel, do you think you're going to be a risk taker? So the tipping point, I believe, is perception of failure. That's why I think, if you look at Sandler rules, what's the number 1 rule? What's rule number 1? Anyone know the Sandler rules? First rule, what is it? You must learn how to fail to win. You must learn how to fail to win is rule number 1. 49 selling rules right in the back. Open it up. Number 1. Now, we have about 6 minutes for me to keep you guys on track. And I will say, and Tim's here, so I have witnesses, this will probably be the only time I actually end on time. Right? So let's go. You know how it is, Rosso, So I want to run you through a quick exercise. This quick exercise is we help individuals walk through and help them understand how to take better risks and eliminate their fear of failure. So if you have your sheet, flip it open. Okay? I'm going to go through this as fast as I can. Historically, we do this in smaller settings. Let's see if it will work within 800-900 people. So here's the thing, and I want you to write this down. Action, if you can write it down, action in critical points, either increases or decreases your motivation. Action at critical points either increases or decreases motivation. The way I look at it is very simple. Our self-esteem is nothing more than a brick wall. And every time that we know we're supposed to do something and we choose not to, we take a brick off. And when we're supposed to do something, regardless of the outcomes, and we do it, it adds a brick to the wall. We are building our self-esteem. Yeah, we were born perfect, womb to the tomb, all that fun stuff. At the end of the day, we got to build it back up. So let's take a look at a role that you have to do at work, okay? Let's blow through this and let's get one done. So maybe at work you're a supervisor. Maybe at work you're sales. I need a role in which you do. It could be recruiter, it could be a leadership, it could be coaching, training, developing. Sales. Now, within that role, there is absolutely an activity that you may not like to do. For instance, with supervision, maybe you don't like accountability. For sales, maybe one of the activities you don't like to do is prospect. So as I'm talking, you should be doing your exercise because the last 2 columns is where the money is. So on your sheet, do you need a sheet? You home? You bet, man. Now, so give me a gun, write it down. What's the role? What's the activity you do not like to do? Don't give me a role that you love and an activity you think is awesome. Sales, going to the bank. No. Sales, what don't you like about sales? Prospecting. Put it down. Now, no one else is going to see this. This is very, very important because I believe you already know the answer. You just don't want to share it because it gets embarrassing. When you actually look at that activity, when you look at the thing that you have to do, what is the barrier inside the skin, barrier, holding you back from doing that activity? I'll give it to you again in case you want to write it in that column. What is the barrier inside the skin that holds you back from doing the activity? I've found with leadership and accountability, most people don't want to be seen as the bad guy. I don't want to be the one wearing the black suit. I don't want to be the heavy hand. What about in sales when it comes to prospecting, calling people you don't know? Fear of rejection. That's the inside stuff. Don't give me crap about I don't know what to say. I can't get back to secretary. God, you're killing me. You're a wimp. That's the problem. Now, we look at the barriers. When we look at those things, because of those barriers, when you do that activity, what's the outcome? So if I have a leader who doesn't hold their staff accountable, all of a sudden I have things like the inmates run the prison. They have no respect from their team. They have no respect from their peers. They feel wimpy. That's the reality of it. Now, on a sales side, if you're supposed to be prospecting and you're terrified of doing it, and you have fear of rejection, you're not seeing people. You know you're being wimpy. You're not making any money. So don't look up. Keep writing your notes down. I should see heads, not eyeballs. Go through the exercise. What is the impact? What occurs because you don't do or you are doing the barrier? Because you want to be a nice guy, what's happening? Maybe you don't want to ask tough questions. Well, what happens? I'm not qualified. I'm chasing people. I'm doing proposals for no reason. I'm being busy, but I'm not profitable. What's your answer? Jot it down.